Hello and welcome to another update on XRP. I am here currently on the daily time frame, on the daily XRP chart, and well, you can see that we're currently still holding critical support levels here in the area around $2.74 to $2.93. So, from a wave point of view, from a wave structure point of view, this pullback is still seen as a fourth wave. But please remember that Bitcoin hasn't really given us any significant signal for a low yet. And also please remember that the September month is typically not the most bullish one, typically for Bitcoin and altcoins, including XRP. Now again, that doesn't need to be the same this year. I mean, if we look at what happened actually last year, well, you see, we spent quite a bit of time here also in a range, right? There was a bit of downward move, upward move. And then in October, we formed the low and it did shoot up. So maybe we get something interesting like this early October or end of September. We'll see. But for now, we are stuck here in a correction. We have an upper micro support area between $2.75 and $2.93. It is still holding. And if we break below it, however, which would involve a break below the September low, then we are likely going to dip in a larger correction. So that means the correction that's already unfolding right now is continues to unfold, but it would be a different structure. So instead of considering this to be a fourth wave in an Elliott wave structure, I would call it a B wave. And that means it allows for a deeper pullback. The structure is different. And it means also that the structure to the upside will be a bumpy ride, most likely. So while I'm tracking at the moment, an impulsive structure, which would suggest the next move up could be quite aggressive. If we go down lower and it'll be a B wave, then the C wave to the upside should also be aggressive. But again, it can be an ending diagonal itself. So I don't want to get too much into this right now. All it means it's not great if we break below upper support and hit lower support, but it's not a disaster. It's not necessarily bearish. It might just mean the structure is going to be much more difficult to track and parameters are going to be much more difficult and unclear. And also, whenever we're dealing with a diagonal pattern, the structures are more difficult to interpret because with an impulse, it's clear. When we're dealing with diagonal patterns, there are many ways how this can be interpreted. I could technically even say then, hey, this is a third and this is a deep four and we just get one more high. But then I'm using certainly still Elliott wave guidelines that would still tell me, at least based on what I see right now, we could be dealing with a B wave in a third wave, and then the next move up is, just the C wave of the third, then a wave 4, then a wave 5. Can still take us to around about $5 plus. Looking at the shorter time frame, it is just boring and frustrating at the moment. I understand that. We're still holding above these structural support levels here, previous swing lows here from September, and then also a previous swing high, swing low at around $2.65. This is quite a meaningful level. If we scroll here to the left, and if we shift to the left and take a look at the past, in May 25, this was a resistance area. So we then broke out, retested, and so we're currently holding above that level. It would be ideal to stay above that 265 level. It's not an absolute must. For the yellow count, it is. For the white scenario, we could drop down lower to 246 to 221. Unfortunately, we don't really have a clear 5-wave move to the upside from the September low, so further downside is still likely at this point. To first consider that a low is in, we would need a break above the previous swing highs here, and I'd say at least above one of these trend lines. I mean, we could maybe even add another trend line here. The question is just, how relevant is it? So you see it here, there are 3 touch points, 4 touch points even, so it's entirely possible that this is also a relevant trend line that we can be watching. But again, how important is that signal? I'm not sure. It's really only on the smallest time frames. But anyway, it's a technical resistance level. Certainly something to be watching. Market will need to make a decision soon, but for now we're still caught here in a correction. I'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, don't forget to join us on X for additional updates, chart updates, memes, and much more. Feel free to join us here. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.